And welcome back to Sports Weekly on IEMG. I'm your host, Pep Fernandez. Let's talk some high school basketball at Aquinas. The Falcons are undefeated right now in Ambassador League play, and they've played a tough non-league schedule. They've been led by Brooklyn Ross, the Cajon High School transfer, now with the Falcons, has scored a career-high 32 points, not once, not twice, but 3 times already this season. He's averaging about 25 points per game, which ranks him as one of the top scorers in the entire state right now. Not too bad for a junior, Brooklyn Ross. We had a chance to talk to Brooklyn about the season so far, how he is growing as a basketball player. And remember, Aquinas last year won a CIF Southern Section Championship. Now they add Brooklyn Ross from Cajon in the mix. The Falcons might be back in another championship game this year. Here is Brooklyn Ross. All right, now joining us on the show from the Aquinas boys basketball team, Brooklyn Ross. And man, this guy has been on a tear, a couple 32-point games under his belt. Brooklyn, man, you've been playing great the last couple of games. The big winter holy war against Notre Dame, Arrowhead Christian, that's a big rivalry game. You had 32 points in both of those games. Do you get excited, or do you kind of get up a little bit when you're playing like a rival, or there's something at stake? It's a big game for you guys.
I definitely do get up. I think my teammates help me with that, but I try to keep the energy going. I really do it for the name on the front. I don't really think about who we're playing, and I just like to keep the energy good for our team.
Coach Pegram, he runs a tight ship, he runs a great program. He knows exactly what he wants from his players. What's it like playing basketball at Aquinas and for Coach Pegram?
It's so much different than any program that I've been in. He's very strict, and I like that because he's actually making me better. And I think I've become a way better player than I was last year and the year before.
Now, Brooklyn, we saw highlights of your game against Notre Dame, and we got highlights of the ACA game as well. You were doing a little bit of everything, but if you were going to kind of describe the way you play basketball, are you a guy that likes to get to the rim? Are you're not afraid to shoot the three-pointer? You like the offensive rebounds? Like, how would you kind of describe the way you play?
For me, I like to get to a lot of bully ball, but I don't like people to get it twisted, because if you do try to leave me open, then I will shoot it. Last year, that was kind of my whole thing. I was just shooting the ball, corner three, shooting it. And this year, they kind of developed me more into a bully ball player, mid-range, pinch post type player. I think that's what I've started to become. And then now I have a secondary point of offense, which is my three-pointer. And usually at the end of the game, that's what's hidden.
When you develop your all-around game like you talked about, you can shoot from the outside, you can get physical if you need to and go inside. Do you feel like that's going to help translate to the next level? Like if you want to play beyond high school and try to, get a scholarship, whatever that's going to look like, they're going to look at you and be like, the guy can do it all, man. He can, go inside, outside, whatever we need, he can do it.
For sure. Every school has their own system, and I would like to be able to fit in whatever system I'm brought into and be able to do what they want for me at that position. So I think working on all 3 levels is important.
All right, so Brooklyn, you're new to the program this year, but of course, the Falcons won a CIF Southern Section Championship last year. They got to the state playoffs. What do you think it's going to take to help this team get back to a championship game and go back-to-back?
We definitely have the talent for sure. Way more talented team than last year. We just need to get our mental right. We need to become a better team. We need to become stronger mentally and go back to being fourth quarter boys, being able to close out games like that. We have the conditioning and all that. It's really just a mental strength and less of a physical strength.
I talked to Coach before the season began, and he was talking about that tough non-league schedule. I mean, you guys played some really good teams on that non-league portion to get you ready for the Ambassador League, which is tough too. There's some good teams in the Ambassador League as well. But, what did, this team, do you feel like it's grown and still growing? Do you feel like it's as good as you guys have been? Like you're still getting better? Like you haven't reached your full potential yet?
Yeah, we're for sure getting better. I think it kind of hurt that I had, not just me, but a couple of my other teammates had to sit out about half the season. And also me coming off of an injury, it hurt the team a little bit. And I think now as league started coming, we're seeing how important it is that we have to be a family and be a team. And we're slowly becoming a better team as we go.
Yeah, you bring up a good point, and Aquinas isn't the only team out there that gets guys eligible at a certain point in the season, and they look like a different team. So I know league play is important, but for you guys, it's really important, right? So you can gel together. If you are going to make a deep playoff run, these league games are important, right? Just so you guys can feel like you're on the same page and you're improving and getting better before you get to the CIF playoffs. Is that safe to say?
Yes, for sure.
And what was the injury that you were dealing with?
I have tendinosis, which is it's like tendonitis, but it's basically like chronic degeneration of the tendon in my knees. I have it in both. And I have done some therapy like PRP shots. Thankfully, my dad and I have the resources to be able to do stuff like that, just get back on the court. It does hurt, but I've done the right steps to be able to play through it. And after the game, I just go ahead and ice, and the next day I'm good.
Brooklyn, let me ask you about your 32-point games. You were telling me off the air that 32 points is a career high, and you've done that twice now against Notre Dame and ACA. For both those games, especially the ACA game, you scored 32 of the 50 points, for your team. When you go into a game, do you have that mindset like, hey, I'm going to probably have to score a lot in this one, or it's just what the other team's giving you and you're just feeling it, and your teammates are finding you in good spots? Like, how do you approach a game, and you go off offensively? Do you know that's going to happen that night?
Well, the funny thing is, for both of those games, I started off the game probably 0-3, 0-4. Like Notre Dame game, I started off 0-4. I missed a couple layups, and I wasn't really thinking about, I need to start scoring. It's just I do it works, and what they gave to me was the three-point line, and I just kept shooting it, and it kept going in. That was for the Notre Dame game, man. For the ACA game, we already had a plan. We were like, we're going to get the ball to Brooklyn right here, and we know he has a bigger opponent on him. We know he's stronger. We know he's faster, so we're just going to exploit that, and it just kept working all night. They didn't really have an answer for it.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Like keep going back to it.
Right.
So Brooklyn, is the goal to, I know you're a junior, right? So you got 2 more seasons of high school basketball, but the goal, college scholarship. You want to play at the D1 level. Like, where do you see your future?
Yeah, I definitely see myself as a D1 player. I definitely need to get my handle right, become more of a playmaker for my team. But that's going to come with time and trust from my teammates.
Well, playing at Aquinas, do you feel like Coach Pagram's giving you more responsibilities? Like, hey, we might need you to handle the basketball, or we might need you to play the 5 and go inside and grab some rebounds. Like, do you feel like, being at Aquinas, you're able to do a lot of different things, and Coach is requiring you to do a lot of different things?
Yeah, when I came in, he told me, he was like, I'm going to have high expectations for you. And that's honestly helped me become a better player. And, with the offense we run, we don't really run offense. So I can really be anywhere on the floor. Wherever they need me to be, that's where I'm going to be. So
Brooklyn is certainly having a big season for Aquinas. Let's see if he can help the Falcons get back to a CIF Southern Section Championship game this year. That's going to do it for Sports Weekly. Give this video a like and subscribe to the Inland Empire Media Group YouTube channel. My name is Pep Fernandez, and we will see you next time.